Could you please get the car for me? No offense, Mr. Queen, but I've been filled in on your tendency to slip the leash. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer keeping you in my sights at all times.
We're 20 miles from the city. If you don't drive me, how else am I gonna get there? Right. I like him.
The history of superhero television is interesting because of how many programs there are and for how much the quality changes between the shows. Sometimes the shows are campy and enjoyable, but other times the shows are confusing and awful. For every Adam West Batman, there's a 1977 Incredible Hulk. So when the CW announced that they were doing a show on the Green Arrow, I was nervously excited. Because Green Arrow is one of my favorite superheroes ever, but after what happened with Smallville, I was worried. And the type of storytelling traditionally done on the CW isn't really my vibe, so when the show premiered in 2012, I approached with caution.
In his final moments, he told me the truth. That our family's wealth had been built on the suffering of others. That he failed our city. And that it was up to me to save it and right his wrongs. But to do that without endangering the people closest to me, I have to be someone else. I have to be something else.
Hello and welcome to Better Late Than Never, a show where we talk about whether or not it's too late to get into older television shows and if it's worth the potential hassle to do so. The next couple of weeks I'm going to be talking about various superhero shows starting with the CW's Arrow, and as always I want to hit you with a little bit of a spoiler warning as I will be talking about the events that occur in the CW show Arrow, primarily the plot of the first season, but there will be mention of the later seasons and my thoughts on them. Arrow is a thriller/superhero show starring Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, aka The Arrow, and is created by Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim, and Andrew Kreisberg. Arrow ran for 8 seasons between 2012 and 2020, where it went through a lot of fluctuations quality-wise. The early seasons are regarded as some of the best, while the middle seasons range from lackluster to straight up bad. The first season is reasonably safe and is executed pretty well and doesn't really do anything that would turn the fans off from the show. The villain was compelling, the supporting cast was likable, and the plot made sense. From a technical standpoint with the editing and the camera work, Arrow's a CW show. It's not really much you can expect from that. It's good, sometimes great, but it's a CW show. It's your standard superhero fare, a small overarching plot that develops a little later on in the season, but it's primarily made up of monsters of the week, where the hero goes, fights a weekly villain which has a small influence on the overarching story. Now this would become the formula that the CW would follow for the rest of the Arrowverse superhero shows. That's right, there are more of these, which is really cool, because as the show goes on you get to see the Green Arrow interact with a variety of other superheroes. This includes The Flash, The Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and some others. In fact, they end up doing a lot of big crossover storylines of most of the characters introduced in the shows. These tend to be one per season, outside of Season 3 of Arrow, which featured a small crossover with The Flash. Now, Arrow is a show that features a wide range of quality fluctuations. The show has a pretty solid start with Seasons 1 and 2. In fact, I think it's fair to say that Season 2 is either the best of the bunch or right up there at the top. Now, afterwards is when the show begins to get a little rocky. I'm not gonna lie to you, there are some rough seasons, 3 and 4 especially. I mean, they're just not good stories, and they are not well done at all. Season 5 is a lot better, and then the quality drops a bit again for 6 and 7, but Season 8 is fantastic. Let me tell you that it's almost worth pushing through the whole show to get to. I mean, Season 8 is a wonderful wrap-up for the character of the Green Arrow, and it's so excellently done.
This is my cousin, Clark. I'm so glad you get to meet.
Your cousin? That cousin? The super cousin?
Oh, please, call me Clark. Welcome to our farm.
Are you puffing out your chest? Yes.
Now let's answer the question of the show. Is it better to watch Arrow late, or is it just not worth the watch at all? And the answer is no, but yes at the same time. So the show has a lot of weak moments in it with characters taking dives and how much you enjoy them, and some crazy story quality drops. But there are some really standout seasons, especially the first two and the last. If you're a fan of the character Green Arrow, chances are you've already seen the show, and if you are, however, looking for a more grounded, realistic-ish superhero adventure, the show is a pretty decent option. There are times where it might not seem worth the hassle, and that is perfectly understandable. But I think if you want to dive into the CW superhero universe, this is a great starting point and worth the watch. Have you seen CW's Arrow before? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment about what show you'd like to see reviewed next.